Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on,
Welcome
y'all.
back to the Latino Slant. My name is Paulie. I hope everyone is doing well. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Latino Slant channel. And really appreciate y'all being here. So I've been meaning to get to this story for almost a week now, since the passing of the late great actor Sean Connery, and a really cool remembrance from the actor Andy Garcia, who I just really, especially with the movie Untouchables, really struck a great chord with me in seeing a um, just another awesome Latino actor in a mainstream film at that time. I think I was a teenager, so just his portrayal meant a lot to me, as much as Sean Connery's Oscar-winning performance, Kevin Costner, and of course Robert De Niro as Al Capone. So that movie came out I believe in the late '80s, but it was directed by Brian De Palma. Brian was already a great master of horror with Carrie and Dress to Kill, and this other really cool little film called Blowout. But he eventually did the first Mission Impossible. This to me was like one of the most perfect gangster films, and an incredible performance by Sean Connery, which won him Best Supporting Actor for his character of Jimmy the Chicago Cop. So let's get to this article, shall we? Andy Garcia remembers his Untouchables co-star, Sean Connery. This quote saying, I was one of four, so we got together a lot. His sense of humor was always prevalent, and he had a very dry, sort of sarcastic, observational humor that I very much appreciated. The actor tells a Hollywood Reporter. Um, yeah, this is pretty cool. So let's go a little deeper into this story, shall we? One of the main reasons I was inspired to become an actor was because of Sean Connery growing up in the 60s in Miami Beach. His early work made an impression on me. Dr. No and Goldfinger in the Bond series. He was a hero of our times. I was a young man and I was really enamored with Sean. I would go to the theater, sit and watch 2 and 3 screenings in a row when one of his movies came out. I spent the whole day in there. Start with the matinee, come home to dinner, and then take in the evening show. Wow, that sounds like a great day. I didn't know that what I wanted to be. I didn't know that I wanted to be an actor at the time, but I was enthralled with what I was seeing. I would say Sean, along with Steve McQueen, James Coburn, and Peter Sellers in the comedic world, inspired me. It was destiny that I got to work with him in The Untouchables. God works in mysterious ways. Yes, he does. It was a privilege for me. It was one of those things you think that someone will pull a hand on your shoulder and say, wake up, it's all been a dream. We rehearsed for a week or so before we started shooting in Chicago. I remember during rehearsal, he was jabbing me with the clipboard that he had in his hands with the little metal part right in my ribs. And I remember knocking it out of his hands. And then he was like, I like that. Let's do it. Let's do that in the movie. So that's why it's in the movie like that, because Sean was provoking me to get a reaction. Once I did, he said, good. I like this kid. That was a great part. That was a great scene. Um, of course, his character he played in the movie, as you guys remember, it was George Stone, but it was really like Giuseppe. I forget the last name, but he was an Italian American cop with a chip on his shoulder, to be a do-gooder, a good cop. George Stone. We were doing a scene where I had to go down the hallway. The camera was looking down the hallway, and he was off camera. It was me answering the phone and having a conversation with him. But he was ready to go play golf right after the scene would be over. So I went in there to answer the phone, and Brian De Palma said, cut. And I walked back to where they were, and Brian said, Andy, we didn't see your face. And there was a discussion about how I'd answer the phone. I didn't want to look corny. So Sean looked up to me and said, come on, kid. It's not Hamlet. Just answer the phone, turn around, let's get out of here. So I did another take. Brian says, cut. Andy, we only saw one eye. And Sean, with his great sense of humor, you saw two eyes. They're just very close together. That's awesome. His sense of humor was so quick that he could be the butt of his humor very easily, and he would take it as well as he could give it. I would riff with him and try to hold my ground, and that was my relationship with him in the movie as well. I had to always come back. I had to always come back with something. He wanted you to come back. He didn't want you to lay down. I made him laugh, and he treated me very warmly. He loved kids. He loved the fact my kids were around on the set. He would play with them. That showed the warmth of his character. Oh my God. Sean took his work very seriously. He was a consummate actor, and he was highly praised. He set the bar very high. As soon as he walked into the room, he was ready, and you had to be ready. You had to be ready around him. You had to show up ready to go. And he had this masterful touch, imaginative, a sense of interpretation that he had with all of his parts going back to the early Bond. The last time I saw Sean was a tribute that we did at the AFI in 2009. I was honored to speak about him. After the event, we went together to an after party and sat together. We had a cocktail or two, and it was a beautiful thing. I never saw him again after that. He lived in the Bahamas. He said, "Come to Nassau. We'll play some golf." I thought to myself, yeah, I got to do that. I never did. It's a regret I have. Raise your glass for him. It's never too early to toast Sean Connery. Wow. A hero for our times, indeed. Indeed. That's a beautiful tribute. And, I'm a little bummed out that it did not get as much fanfare as it deserves. And that's why we're here with the Latino Slant and checking out these really cool stories of actors remembering actors and the influence that sometimes these actors have on young people who don't even know what they want to be yet. And look at, there you go, right there. It's a great connection of one generation to another. And yeah, he indeed was a hero of our times. So that wraps it up for us here. You know what I like? I'd love for you guys in the comment section. Not only would I like to know your favorite Sean Connery films, Bonds, or Indiana Jones, Untouchables, all the way to give me your top three. Give me your top three. I also want to know, which Andy Garcia movie do you guys like? He's been in quite a few, and including, I thought his performance in Godfather 3 was great, even though I didn't like the film that much. Of course, he was awesome in Untouchables. Check out When a Man Loves a Woman, and Dead Awake, I believe that's what it's called. But tell me your favorite Andy Garcia films as well, and Sean Connery films, and I'll hit you back in the chats, in the comments. Okay, till the next time, you guys, wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, please. Be well.